Hey, well, good morning, Mrs. Burnett, Mr. Zanartu, and a special guest today, Miss Ridley. We thank you for joining us. Coyotes, welcome to our Friday flag video. Today is Friday, April 21st. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, shall we? Please rise. Eyes on the flag. Hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. All right, students and staff, we hope to see you at our Spring Back to the 80s dance event held on our campus tonight from 5 to 7 p.m. Cannot wait to see everyone dressed in their 80s attire. That should be super fun. A lot of neon, I guess, I'm sure. As you know, our students will be testing the next several weeks. All students from kinder to fifth grade will take the iReady diagnostic as well as the state test if you're in grades 3, 4, or 5. We ask that you do your very best. Work hard, show your very best effort on the test. Get a good night's sleep the evening before and eat a protein-rich breakfast. That is helpful. Remember, too, to listen to your teacher's directions, and he or she will guide you well. And students, I thank you ahead of time for doing your very best and striving to prove what you have learned this year. Have the grit to push through and take your time. You will do well, I'm sure, showing that you are all a hero. Remember, being a hero means being helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. We don't have a joke today to tell, but what we do have is Miss Ridley, our librarian. She's got a little feature spot that she would like to do right now. So take it away, Miss Ridley. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me to Friday Flag today. I am so happy to be here and to talk to you guys about something special that we're going to be doing this coming week across the campus on Friday, April 28th. As you can see, Miss Ridley has a bright green neon dot on my jacket. And what I'm going to be asking everybody to do as part of our April Poem Month is to come in Friday morning and pick up one of these green dots and a poem from Mrs. Ridley. Then we're going to have Poem in Your Pocket. I hope you can see that. Poem in Your Pocket Day. So everyone that you see throughout the day on Friday that has a green dot on their shirt or jacket, you're going to stop them and ask them to pull this little poem out of their pocket and read it to you. Now, anybody that you see, that could be staff, office staff, my librarian, your teachers, anyone that has a green dot on Friday, April 28th, ask them if you can have them read their poem in their pocket to celebrate April's Poem Month. Thank you so much, and I'm excited to see all of our green dots across campus on Friday.
Yes, and we are too. Thank you, Miss Ridley. What a great activity will be held on April 28th, a week from today. So that should be a lot of fun. And we love poetry. Everybody loves reading, writing, and just listening to poetry. So outstanding. Thank you so much. All right, so Mr. Zanartu, of course, has his mindset behavior tip. Take it away, Mr. Z.
Good morning, Coyotes. I hope your week was a good one. Today, I want to talk to you about something really important, de-escalating a situation when we have conflict. Now, conflict can happen with our friends, family, and sometimes people we don't know very well. But it's how we handle those conflicts that really matters. De-escalating means calming down a situation. And it's important because doing this can help us avoid getting in trouble. We can when we get angry or upset, we may say or do things that we might regret later. But if we stop, take a deep breath, stay calm, and try to understand the other person's point of view, we can avoid escalating a situation and making a poor choice. Other than that, and keeping us out of trouble, de-escalating can also help support your friendships. When we show our friends that we're willing to listen and work things out peacefully, it can make us better friends. And if for some reason you and the person cannot calm down, then the best and sometimes hardest thing to do is to walk away and take a little break for yourself. Remember, you are your best self when you can communicate in a calm and respectful way. And when that's hard, don't forget to ask for help. We may not always agree with each other, but we can always respect each other's opinions and find a way to get along. Remember, conflicts can be tough, but how we handle it is what really matters. So let's all try to be peacemakers and practice de-escalating when we face conflicts. It's not always easy, but trust me, it is worth it. With something to think about, this is your school counselor, Mr. Zanartu. Have a great week, everyone. And now let's hand it off to Mrs. Burnett for those Howley's Heroes.
Thank you, Mr. Zanartu. Good morning, staff and students. Happy Friday. I'm so excited to announce our heroes for this week. Remember, these kiddos have been super helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. So here we go. In kindergarten in Mrs. Miller's class, we have Charlie and Lyra. In Mrs. Gorton's class, Emilio. And in first grade in Mrs. Stringer's class, we have Haley. Mrs. Moritz class, Isabella. Mrs. Shaw's class, Kate. Mrs. Cron's class, Will S. Mrs. Murray's class, Meadow, and Mr. Reagan's class, Delilah. In second grade in Miss Garrity's class, we have Penny and Zachary. In Mrs. Calvio Murray's class, we have Ziana. In Mrs. Manzella's class, Liam. Mrs. Treese's class, Isabella. Mrs. Pacey's class, Joey. And in third grade in Mrs. Levin's class, Nicolette. Mrs. Toph's class, Brixton. Mrs. Hewittson's class, Gus. Mrs. Welch's class, Gabriel. Miss Hess's class, Aiden. Mrs. Harley's class, Maddie. Mrs. De Leon's class, Alicia. And in fourth grade in Miss Ariano's, we have Austin. Mrs. Schroeder's, Lily. Miss Trujillo, Tinley and Chrissy. Mr. Pacey, we have Liam A. Miss Smith's class, Sophie G and Cody. And in fifth grade in Mrs. Bryan's class, we have Eden. Mrs. Greenstein's class, Maddox. Mrs. Bethke's class, Jonathan. Mrs. Hemrick's class, Hadley. Miss Getz's class, Ethan V. And in Mrs. Miranda's class, we have McKenna. Way to go, boys and girls. Keep up the fantastic work. Over to you, Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Burnett. Excellent. Love to see that list of heroes each week. Thank you for tuning in today, Coyotes. We desire that all students continue to strive to be heroes on this campus. Remember that the choice is always yours. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Take care. See you later. Bye.